Okay, today we're going to solve quadratic equations using graphs and tables. We're also going to do inequalities as well. The equations are going to be fairly straightforward. The inequalities are going to get a little bit more complicated. So the first example we're going to do here, we have 3 is equal to negative x squared plus 4. What they've done here is they've actually shown you what to put in the calculator and what you have whenever you put that in. So what I would like you to do is go ahead and put this in your own calculator. I'm going to put it in my own calculator as well. So in y1 I'm going to put that 3, and y2 I'm going to put that negative x squared plus 4. First thing I want to show you and talk about is the graph over here. If I press graph, my graph looks remarkably similar to this. I could probably look at my graph. Now, I know that everyone likes to look at the graphs, but the graphs are really not the best places to look because it can get kind of hard to figure out what the numbers are. So if you have a graph, hopefully it's a bigger graph on your paper, but it's hard to see. We can see here kind of that these go up to -1 and 1. Same thing here, we can kind of see that. We're not exactly sure. We don't know if it's exact on the calculator. So just be very, very, very careful when you're using the calculator graph screen. Try to use them on a bigger graph on a paper. You can see a lot more precisely where they intersect. What we're looking for when we put this in the calculator on a graph is where they intersect. And on this graph we can see that they intersect here and here. And my solutions are going to be x values. I want the x values of my solutions. My x values here are -1 and 1. The best place to look is going to be on your table. So I'm going to do second graph and I get my table. What we're looking for on the table is where these values are the same, where y1 and y2 are the same. Now, show it on the calculator. I'm going to kind of ignore the calculator for now. So we're going to look at this table here. Where are they the same? Well, they're the same right here. 3 and 3, 3 and 3. 3 is not my solution. My solution is over here, again, the x value. That is my solution, the x values. And I have -1 and I have 1 as my solutions. So my solutions here are -1 and 1. We could also write this as x equals plus or minus 1. I think that's a nice and simple way to write that. The one thing I'm going to add here is how to check this. How are we going to check this? To check and see if those solutions work, we're going to say 3 equals negative, and I'm going to put a parentheses here where my x goes, and let's test the value. So we know 1 works. Oh, can't see that. So we know 1 works. So I'm going to put 1 in here. And what I want us to do is I want us to put this whole thing right here into the calculator. So quit out of this screen and type it in as you see it. Negative parentheses 1 squared plus 4 and hit enter. I end up with 3. So this whole thing right here ends up being 3. Is this a true statement? Yes, that's true. So this point works. Let's test another one. Instead of having to retype all this over, if you use an up arrow, tap up twice, you'll highlight it. And if you press enter, I'll copy it down here. But I want to put a -1 in here. So I want to test my other one. I want to make sure my other one is equal to 3 as well. So I'm going to put -1 in here, and all I have to do is insert a negative in front of that 1. So second delete inserts, and I'm going to insert the negative. Hit enter, and I get 3 again. So I've tested that this one gets us 3 as well. Let's test one of the values that doesn't work. Let's test 0, all right, in between the two. go in here. I'm actually going to go copy the top one again, and I'm going to change that 1 to a 0. 4. So in that case, I would get 3 is equal to negative 0 squared plus 4. 3 is equal to 4, which is what it says here. This is not a true statement, which means that that one doesn't work. So my only options are negative 1 and 1. That's what I got down here.